Afternoon, NASA. It's your favorite proponent. Back here to root on your great research, your great exploring, all the great work you've done. Okay. So, I'm back on this level Earth we live on. This flat, plain, level Earth we live on. Yeah. So, I'm still, to this day, curious why it's such a problem. Why a government, which NASA is a wing of, that has no problem wasting millions of dollars again on why lesbian women get fatter than other women, or the mating rituals or habits of various creatures around the world that really don't have a bearing on my everyday life. Yet, I'm kind of curious that if I lived under a government that said there's a big chunk of ice at the bottom of this planet we live on and a big chunk of ice at the top that constantly wants to tell me they're showing me pictures of Mars and the moon and tells me how they went to the moon for a little vacation a few times 40 plus years ago. If I kind of start thinking they're full of shit and want to be, you have an education system that constantly wants to pound into our heads proof and evidence of where we live on this planet, hurling through space around the sun, spinning and whirling and twirling. You want to show us, and you want us to just accept this proof, these mathematical equations, these theories called gravity, theories, laws, whatever the fuck you call them. Because it just matters what you call them, because it doesn't exist. You want us to accept that. And just accept it. Yet you don't have any inkling to show us how smart you are. Show us your great technology. Show us that you've been right all this time. You don't want to use this technology to shut these flat earthers up. They're growing. More and more of them are out here every day. You know, the people that you're getting to say, ooh, is Patricia Steere CIA, or is Mark Sargent CIA, or, yeah, here's me, don't really give a fuck. Don't care. They're not stealing my tax dollars. At worst, they're working for the fucks that are stealing my tax dollars. They're just another cog in the wheel of deception. Don't really give a fuck. They're not going to help me to find the truth, obviously, if they are. So, and you know what? Even if they aren't, sitting at home, all you researchers with all your theories and conjecture about what the model really is from sitting at your house, you're not going to find the truth either, sitting at your house. You know how we find the truth? You take the deceivers at the top, called government, everyone in the world, and get the fuck rid of them. They're the ones keeping us from doing true exploration. They're the ones selling you that they're exploring space, they're exploring this, but we can't even get drones flying over Antarctica or the North Pole. We can't get live feeds constantly of this place we live in. They're just chunks of ice, inconsequential, yet you think they were Area fucking 51. All we can get is troll assholes out here telling us how all the cruises they go on, and we'll get a few videos of out of a plane window for 2 minutes, or it's so ridiculous to think that, oh, they're not keeping you from there, yet the number of videos compared to the number of videos of places that are free to explore in the world it's like 10 to 10 million. It's not an even ratio. Are you telling me the world is so devoid of explorers anymore that it's so free to go to Antarctica, but there's not just video after video of people that are fucking curious about it going there, uploading their videos on YouTube? No, you may find a couple of science expeditions that all are escorted by military aircraft. I mean, it's just fucking absurd that you even try to sell this shit. We have drones to go kill people all over this planet that won't buy our democratic, republican, democracy form of government. We can use drones to go fucking kill those people all day long, but we can't use them to fly over chunks of ice at each end of the poles, north and south. We can't use them. We just have to go off the pictures that they've drawn on a map or drawn on a computer screen. It's no different than space. I spent months calling NASA out. Show us fucking pictures from space. Okay, motherfuckers, apparently that's too hard for your dumbasses. You can get to Mars and the moon, but you can't show us video of our Earth. So let's make it a little easier for you. Use the fucking drones you've got. There are smart people out here that will even help you do it. They could probably take off the market drones and get a lot better footage than what the fuck the none we've got now. So if it's a little too tough for your rocket scientists at NASA, just go ahead and put the word out. People will help you get it done. But let's get some drone footage flying around Antarctica, around the shores. Let's prove the global warming really exists. There's a lot of people that calling out that bullshit too. Just don't seem to believe it because there's some pesky scientists out there that keep telling us y'all are full of shit. And then there's our common sense observation that tells us you're full of shit. So you could prove that at the same time. Prove the ice caps melting. Why don't we have drones instead of blowing up brown people in the Middle East and then getting everybody in your country to bitch about all the immigration? Hey, look, can we get a drone or two flying around the North Pole? I want to see live footage. I don't want to see edited documentary bullshit. I want to go to a government building, a geological building or a museum or something and see live fucking footage of that shit flying around the North Pole or Antarctica. Or you got fucking TV stations about everything these days. Why not the Antarctica channel? Show us where we really fucking live. What about the Penguin channel? You can waste money on everything. But it's a big fucking mystery for these chunks of ice at each end of the supposed ball we live on. We're just supposed to accept what Copernicus and Columbus and Aristotle and all these other assholes supposedly said 500 years ago. Well, please forgive me if I don't, okay? Because I realize how misconstrued, how mistranslated or intentionally, deceptionally mistranslated information can be. In 1 hour, if you take a group of 100 people and put them in a gymnasium, you have some guy write up a couple paragraphs about polytutism, that it's a new force in the universe, he just discovered it. You have him write a couple paragraphs about what it entails, what it does, what it's about. You have him tell the person next to him, and then have them tell the next person next to them, and go around 100 people. And watch when it gets back, what's it called, the telephone game? And see what did you get with the last 100th person. Will be nothing like what it started with the first. But I'm supposed to believe that over hundreds and thousands of years, we've got the perfect truth about everything that's been written about or contemplated or theorized about, and that at no time in all that history did maybe somebody that had a little preconceived notions or maybe wanted to gain a little more control of this group over here or the entire group of people on this earth might just interject or omit a few things here, interject their opinions here, and twist and convert and discombobulate all the information to fit their goal and agenda? There's no way that could possibly have happened. So why the fuck would we use the technology that we're so fucking proud of today, that you've stolen billions and trillions of dollars from tax slaves to create all this shit? Why the fuck would you possibly want to use that to reiterate, prove, and finally once and for all end the debate? No, you wouldn't want to fucking do that, would you? It's much more important to spend that shit on that money on important shit like Barack Obama's golfing trips so he can blow John McCain in the clubhouse. That's way more important than teaching people about where we actually live. Right? I just want to, trolls, please, I just want to make sure that that's the message. That I'm ridiculous because I have this ridiculous thought in my head that maybe some point over hundreds of years, when I can't even get a message around a gymnasium and get it at the end like it started, same two messages, will be totally different, but over hundreds of years, oh, guaranteed, that's the information, it's good, it's golden, just trust us. Yeah, I don't. I never will. I'm tired of the research. Why can't we do some me search? Why can't we, in this free society, go search for ourselves? From our free, democratic, republican, constitutional government just does every motherfucking thing it can to make sure we can't verify what they're feeding, pushing down our throats. No, it's more important we have to go to a job every week so we can pay more fucking tax dollars for them to shove more bullshit down our throats. That we just have to accept, we can't verify, we just have to believe. Don't believe in anything but government, and they would never lie to you. Religion lies to you constantly. The government would never lie. You can believe us. You can believe Bernie Sanders. You can believe in Donald Trump. They would never lie to you. They're the good guys. They're not just after your money. They're not just after power and personal gain. They're fighting for you, America. Just don't have the nerve to ask them to prove all the evidence and proof of what they say about where you live from 500 years ago. Just accept that. It's ridiculous to ask them to use the technology you paid for. You paid for it. But don't ever get the fucking nerve to ask them to use it to prove what they're saying to you. That's fucking nervy. You know what's much better? If you sit on YouTube and argue about who's a shill and who isn't a shill, and if this model's correct and that model's correct. Don't call out the people that actually control all your money they've stolen and all the technology they built with the money they stole from you. Don't focus on them. Whatever you do, ignore them. It's more important to find out who the YouTube shills are. Okay? So I just want to make sure that you're focused now. Focus. Whatever you do, don't do anything but gossip and conjecture and guess who the YouTube shills are. Because that's going to solve the problem. If we expose all the YouTube shills, well then that's just going to prove the earth is flat. We don't have to get rid of the people constricting us and jailing us and keeping us from doing actual exploration. It's much more important to focus on the YouTube shills and who's a Freemason because they throw up the wrong hand sign. Oh, it's good to be back, YouTube, and calling you on your bullshit. You got to call out the people at the top, folks.